How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Creative Collision Podcast. This is Saeed here. Today I'm going to talk about the 2021 NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks and just what this means for the NBA, for Giannis, and going forward. Some predictions for next year. Not really predictions, but just my thoughts of how the season, is going to be next year and who should be the favorites. But congratulations again to Milwaukee, to the Bucks, and I'm so proud of, so happy for Giannis. I'm gonna get into some legacy talk with him as well, and just what this championship really means for him. And secondly, I want to talk about Loki season finale. It was last week, but it's a lot of theories going on, and we had the big reveal. So spoiler alert for that about who the next MCU villain is basically going to be, going forward for this next phase here. So I'll get into that as well, and just my thoughts on that series overall, and also just these 3 Disney Plus shows that we've got from for Marvel, and just kind of my thoughts overall on all 3 of those shows, going from Loki, but starting with WandaVision, and then Captain and the Winter Soldier, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and now Loki. So I'll get into that on the back end. But first, let's get into my first topic here about the NBA and the Bucks winning the championship, and let's get it going. All right, so Milwaukee won the championship this past Tuesday. The new NBA champions 2021, and just some thoughts on that. First of all, a lot of people are asking if this is good for the NBA or not, and I think it is. In my opinion, it's good to see a new champion crowned, and not one of, even as a Laker fan, and of course I want the Lakers to win every year, but if it's not the Lakers, then it's good to see one of these teams that, this team hasn't won in 50 years since Kareem was there, in 71. So some people don't know if it's good that a small market team like this won, but I think it is, because it shows that you could win anywhere, and especially for someone like Giannis that chose to stay with the team he was drafted by and didn't want to leave there, kept his word, which is rare in today's NBA. You have a lot of players that they just give up on after a couple of years, that they can't, and then if they don't feel they can win with the team they're on, and then they're gonna demand a trade, and Giannis didn't do that. So this championship, I feel like it's, as far as I can remember, like the most celebrated one for, like, I want to say, like, nobody really hated on this team. It's not like this team had haters. Nobody really hates Milwaukee. Nobody hates the Bucks. Nobody really hates Giannis. Everybody was happy for him, and how can you not like Giannis as a person, and as a and how hard he works. There's people that critique Giannis's game and felt like he wasn't good enough to win, and I get that. Like, if you felt like he wasn't gonna get over the hump because he needed to shoot better, have a better shot, or have more skill. There's naysayers and people that thought he didn't have what it takes, but that's different than somebody just hating on a player because they don't like him for whatever reason. They don't want him to win. So it's not like anybody despised this team winning or Giannis winning, So this is one of these championships that you feel like, even if you're not a fan of the team, you're kind of happy for that team, and how you definitely don't feel bad. You feel good at this. You feel good at the right. You feel like the right team won. Nobody on that team is really you can really hate on that much. PJ Tucker kind of annoys people and things like that, but there's not really many players on there that kind of people don't want to see winning. So I think it's good for the NBA that he won, and he won with the team he got drafted by. So this is big for Giannis. At 26 years old, he has 2 MVPs already. He has a Finals MVP. He's a Defensive Player of the Year. Like 5-time All NBA. by 26, and that's crazy. You know, that's not even a resume LeBron had at 26. You know, I think LeBron won his first championship at 26 as well. But I think LeBron has 2 MVPs as well. But you know, you throw in the Defensive Player of the Year and things that hardly anybody's ever done. I know that with his championship, Giannis in the Finals MVP, he's the first, not the first player, but he's one of 3 players, him and Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon, that have won a championship, a Finals MVP, and a Defensive Player of the Year award in their career. So at 26 years old, he's already in historic territory. So this means a lot for Giannis. I think this automatically propels him to top 25 player all time already, if he were like retired tomorrow. And there's, he has a chance to be amongst that tier 1 group, that top 10, top 12 range, like the Pantheon guys, guys that are legends and just, the Kobe's, LeBron's, Magic's, Kareem's, the Birds, that there's a solid like 12, 13 players that are like just historically like great, Pantheon, all-time great legends. And when you're in the top 25, you're in that, getting closer to that category. So he had the chance with his championship. He had the chance to get there, and it's crazy how he just dominated, game 6, one of the all-time greatest finals closeout games. 50 points in a closeout game, just remarkable stuff from him. And he definitely looked like, as the playoffs kept going along, that he figured it out. He got more and more better. He figured out that nobody can stop him, and I think that's when it changed for Giannis, when things turned for him. So he stopped trying to be a shooter, and I always thought that, people were wrong for trying to make him to a 3-point shooter, trying to make him shoot more. Like, dude, you don't need to shoot more to be dominant. Just get, nobody can stop you at the rim. Nobody can stop you down low. You're gonna score anytime you're within like 5 feet. You're gonna score every time, just about. And I really feel like Giannis figured that out and just realized that nobody can stop me. Why am I settling for jump shots? And he's very, his game is not like Shaq, but it's very much like how dominant he is. It's like a modern day like evolution of how Shaq was back then. The games are different. They play differently. Giannis definitely has the ball in his hand more, and he's more of a ball handler, of course. But they both have like this dominance about them that nobody can stop them. Nobody can them. They're just gonna physically overpower and outpower anybody against them. So I think he's figured it out, and it's scary for the rest of the NBA. I don't know, it's scary, and he's gonna go into next season being he might be the best player in the NBA now. I think it's definitely at worst top 3. I think it's Giannis, LeBron, and Durant are the top 3 players in the NBA right now, and depending on what order you want to put them, but it's exciting, and I think it opens. It just makes the field really open for next season, where you feel like almost anybody could win. So, on the flip side, with the Suns, Chris Paul, that was his best chance to win, and I mean, for sure, he had to be playing hurt. Really, he was not good. He didn't really want to shoot, so I felt like something was obviously wrong with him. But he's gonna be, I think, 37 next year. So there's already rumors of him going to the Lakers. I mean, it could work. With the Lakers, he'll be a third option. I think at this point of his career, Chris Paul should be a third option. On the Suns, he was the number 2 option behind Booker, and I don't think that's gonna work anymore with Chris Paul. He needs to be, at this stage, he should be a number 3 option on a championship level team. That's where he's gonna be his best at. So great, great series. It was exciting just to see all these fresh faces and new players in the finals. And for next year, it's definitely going to be a good one. We'll see if Brooklyn can stay healthy, but it's going to be Milwaukee, Brooklyn. We'll see what the Heat do. I know the Heat have a lot of moves they can make for agency. The Sixers, with the whole Ben Simmons situation, and are they going to trade him or not? And they probably are. So we'll see what they do with Ben Simmons. And then in the West, you got the Lakers coming back with a healthy AD hopefully, and the Lakers going to make moves. They're going to do something. So it's not over yet. And LeBron watched this championship and saw Giannis win, and that just motivated him again. So it's not over for the Lakers. The Clippers, it might be over because of Kawhi is getting surgery. So if Kawhi misses the whole season he's and it's an ACL tear. So it seems like this next year could be a wash for the Clippers. Where if Kawhi is out the whole year, then it can be a lost season for them. So and then with the Suns, I don't think they're ever gonna get this good of a chance again, especially with Chris Paul at his age. So we'll see if they bring him back. The reports are he wants 3 years, like $100 million, and we'll see. But they'll be in the mix, but it's definitely gonna be a lot tougher for the Suns to get back next year, especially when the rest of the league, if gets healthy, it's gonna be a good one. So great series. Happy for the Bucks. It's a big means a lot for Giannis, and I'm very proud of him and happy for him. And this propels him up there. It puts him in that running where you can end up as one of the 10 greatest of all time. And at 26 years old, he already has like the accolades. So if he just keeps on, if he wins another championship or two and just keeps on making all-star teams and being an MVP candidate, he doesn't even need to win another MVP. He just needs to keep being one of the top players in the league every year. He's gonna end up there, man. It's almost inevitable at this point. So that's it for the finals, and we'll see what happens next year. But great series overall, and again, congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, so for my last topic, I'm gonna talk about the season finale of Loki and the overall season as well. So Loki just finished this past week, and overall great series. It definitely was my favorite out of the 3 Disney Plus Marvel series so far. I thought it was just it was the most fun to watch for me. I know maybe some people had some issues here and there, but overall I thought it was the best series. I think it had the best characters in it, and not just because of Loki and Tom Hiddleston, but Sylvie, the other Loki, Owen Wilson in there. It had a really nice cast, and where I was into everybody's storyline, not just Loki's. So I just thought the concepts were just different and compelling, with the whole TVA and who's behind the TVA, and then again, spoiler warning, but we get the reveal at the end that it's King the Conqueror, which is was already kind of leaked as to he was going to be the next villain of the MCU. He was already leaked to be in the next Ant-Man movie, Quantumania, and so it wasn't that big of a surprise when we saw him. A lot of people had predicted that it would be him, and he would be behind everything. But still just crazy, still pretty pretty crazy how it all came together, and to see how he controlled everything and how he has, how he's been running the show, and he kind of built this. I thought it was cool how they were able to explain so much in so little time. When they meet King, and he's talking to the two Lokis about how he did what he did, or who he is, his backstory basically. And and it's easy to follow along, and you get it. You don't really need a whole much. You don't need a whole extra episode to it would have been nice to get more episodes, but it's not like they needed to explain a whole lot of his backstory. We're able to get it, that he basically scientists from the 31st century discovered all these other universes stacked on each other, and then his alternate self and other, basically his variants of other universes, were able to discover each other. But at first they're kind of getting along, but then there was a great war, and because of this great war, he had to basically put together this one timeline, or else there'd be chaos, and it all makes sense, and it's easy to see what's going on, but it also adds so much more, to the MCU, and he's I feel like he's such a very interesting and compelling villain. Total like opposite of Thanos, where Thanos was, just brute strength and just this physical presence. And also Thanos was obviously super smart too and things like that. But Kang is just this ultra genius scientist, and those guys are always a lot scarier than the strong guys, in the movies. So as villains, those guys are always the ones that are most powerful and you gotta fear the most. So for him to be saying he was controlling everything this whole time, it's pretty crazy and definitely leaves to a lot of possibilities. So I'm really this show really made me excited for the movies coming out for Doctor Strange 2, and also for the Ant-Man movie for Quantumania. And Marvel just keeps doing it, man. They keep finding ways to keep you entertained, and also just invested in the whole MCU, and all these storylines with the theories and this and that, and they just keep finding, they keep doing it, and it's very impressive, man. And I don't see their reign falling off anytime soon. So yeah, a very good show. And overall, I'm not gonna say it was the greatest show ever, but I definitely enjoyed this one more than the other two, WandaVision and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. All three shows have been really good, but Loki to me stands out the most, and I feel like has the most potential too. When you look at, there will be a season 2, and they left it where there's still so much storylines going on, so many story arcs that didn't get completed with Sylvie, with Mobius. The whole ending of this episode where Loki basically ends up back to where he started, and now he's it seems like he's in another universe, and Mobius doesn't even know him anymore. And it's crazy because they spent this whole season getting to know each other, and they had such great chemistry, and he's starting from scratch again. And then in that universe, there is no three time wizards or whatever. It's Kang is kind of out in the open, and now we're gonna have all these versions of Kang, and it's crazy to see. There's gonna be some bad, evil versions of him, good versions of him. It seems like this one in the show was supposed to be a good version of him. So if this is a good version of him, it's gonna be pretty cool to see the evil version, the bad version of him, and I'm sure we're gonna see that in the movies, or maybe in season 2. So overall, I really enjoyed this show. I really enjoyed this series. I wish it was longer. It could have been. All these shows could have been longer. All these Marvel shows, but we definitely got enough good stuff out of this, and I really enjoyed all the characters. The new characters from Sylvie to Mobius, Owen Wilson. And I forgot what the chick's name is. The judge, the judge of the TVA, because she took off to say she was gonna go find free will, and so there's a lot of theories as to where she's going and what she's gonna do. So, can't wait for season 2. Great series. Marvel keeps on doing it, and I'll be excited for the movies. Overall, I give this show I'll give it like a 8.5 out of 10. Maybe let's go 9 out of 10. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It was a good show, really good show. So, that's my thoughts on that. And yeah, that's it for this episode. We'll see what I got coming up next. Definitely doing more podcasts again. So, everybody stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Feeling so, 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 feeling so unbelievable, limitless potential. Feeling like Bradley Cooper can fuck with me.